Now, if you see the derivation for the expression of MUF for a curved earth, so that means what? If a flat surface means it is very close position. That means in the earth from the transmitter to the receiver, the distance is very small. Then only you can say that the earth is flat. But if you go for the practical purpose, the transmitter may be at the another place, the receiver may be at another place. So that's why the distance is too long. At that time, you can't say that the earth is flat. The earth should be a curved earth. So if you just take as one earth surface is like this, so now let us assume this is my earth surface. Okay, so from this earth surface, so I simply taken this is completely earth surface. So whenever you are thinking that the earth is curved shape, then automatically our ionosphere also in the curved space. So now I am taking the curved space earth is like, so I am taking the curved space ionosphere is like this. Suppose the ionosphere curve is like this. Okay, so now this is our earth surface, this is our curved ionosphere surface. So now if you observe, here there is a transmitter, here there is a receiver. So now again I am taking the same position, K point is here. So now I am going to start my transmission. So now the transmission of the signal always tangential to the earth surface. That means, so the curve is like this, then automatically it will be a tangential to the particular earth surface. So the reflection also will be done like this only. This is exactly tangential to the surface, earth surface tangential. So now this is our transmitter section K, this is our L, this is our M. Okay, so now K, L, M. So now here I am assuming that the middle portion I am taking a point P here for my convenience, but where you will get the O. O means it's an origin of earth. So I know that this is a transmitter, this is a receiver. So the distance between these 2 points I just take it as n D. The distance between these 2 portions, so you can't calculate directly straight away path. Why? Because it is a curvature path. So that's why the D is the distance from here to here. So now what is the D means? It is completely like this. So both lines will come and will touch to a point. That point is exactly equal to this point. That means here your P point. Okay, now so now these two are like this. So now I am taking the angle made by this is n theta. So it is theta means this is also absolutely theta. So now I am considering this point, I take it as n O here. So this point I take it as n O. So here this is K, L, M, P, O. I am taking different points. The distance between these two I take it as n D. So now, so this is an arc. So we all know that what is the length of the arc in any circle is given as L is equal to r theta. L means the length of the arc. What is the length of the arc here? D. So we know that the length D. So the length D can be calculated simply using L into R. R into theta. So R is the resistance. R is the radius of the circle. So now this is our radius R. The same radius we are also having R. Why? Because this is an origin. This is the arc of the circle. So that's why from here to here distance R, here to here distance R. So both distance are R and R. So now how I can calculate the entire D? It should be equal to L is equal to R theta. R is the radius of the circle. What is the angle made by this? Theta is made by theta plus theta. Why? Because the entire angle completely 2 theta. So that's why D is equal to 2R theta. This is, I make it as an equation number 1. So for what we discuss, we just calculate what is the length. So now I'm moving to the next step. So from the triangle KOP, So from the triangle KOP. But here before going to this, I made one more assumption. So I'm just taking the straight line on this line. So now I make it as this is a right angle triangle over here. Okay, so just I am taking a straight line like this. So suppose this point is, just take it as some Q. So this point is in Q. So now K to Q are just considering a line. So this line is from this is it makes a perpendicular right angle triangle. So from this triangle, so now I am writing from the triangle, what is that? KQO. So from this triangle I can write what is cos theta, what is sin theta. So if you need the cos theta and sin theta, you need the adjacent side and opposite side and hypotenuse as well as. So here you know that the distance from here to here, this is an R. You can simply calculate. But if you calculate from here to here, you don't know what is the distance of O to Q. But what is the distance of from here to here? That is also we don't know. So simply I am writing cos theta in sin theta. So from this I can write cos theta angle. So what is the cos theta? It is an adjacent side. So where is adjacent side? This is the adjacent side. So what is this? So this is the angle. So this is the adjacent side. So that's why what is the value? So I don't know exactly. So I'm simply considering this is a length of OQ. So I am writing L indicates the length from the O to Q. So what about the remaining? So this is the adjacent side, this is the hypotenuse. So what is the hypotenuse? This is an R. So that means from this I can write, so length of OQ I can written as R into cos theta. R into cos theta. So if you go for the same triangle, what about the sin theta? So just if you see the sin theta, what will happen? Sin theta is equal to opposite side. What is the opposite side? K to Q. So I am simply writing length of K to Q by R. So what is the formula again? This is also simple, like our length of K to Q is equal to R sin theta. So now these two also I am considering. So this is these two, that means LOQ and LKQ are just keep it in mind. So now I am just replacing in the figure. So here what is the length of the O to Q is given as R cos theta. So what is the length of the K to Q? R sin theta. I am just replacing. Clear? So far I didn't do anything. What we did is simply, so what is the length of the arc we calculated, what is the sin theta from this and what is the cos theta from this. Okay. Suppose I am assuming that this is exactly given the 90 degrees. Suppose I am assuming that the triangle LKO, that means the gradient angle, the angle of LKO is given as 90 degrees. That means if it is axis and right angle triangle, then what will happen to the cos theta? So then what will happen to the cos theta? This is in cos theta. Definitely it is in hypotenuse. So it is an adjacent side. That means what? From this I can write cos theta is equal to simply the adjacent side is R and the hypotenuse. So what is the hypotenuse here? So the hypotenuse is given as complete L to O. So what is the value of L to O? This is from here to here H, here to here R. So now I can simply write this is equal to R plus H. So for my simplification, I am just taking R as a common. So R into 1 plus H by R. So now again I am going to simplify this one. Cos theta is equal to 1 R and R get cancelled. So now it will go up 1 plus H by R whole inverse. So now whenever you are taking that the higher values we can neglect. Why? Because the theta if you are taking it is in very small. The angle of incidence, the angle made by this one is very small, then automatically you can just neglect the all higher terms. So So by using the neglect the higher terms. So now what is the binomial expression for this one? Simply cos theta is equal to 1 minus h by r plus h square by r square plus and so on, something like that we will get. So now I am just neglecting the all upper terms. So now I can write the cos theta is equal to 1 minus h by r. Cos theta is equal to 1 minus h by r. But again, if you go for the theta is very small, again you can expand. So just I make it as an equation number 4. So we got cos theta is equal to 1 minus h by r. But the theta is very small. Again the cos theta also can be simplified by using our expression. So the cos theta is equal to generally e to the power of I theta plus e power minus I theta by 2. So if you expand this expression and if you expand this expression and you are combining and by 2 if you did it, so then ultimately what we will get is the simple task is cos theta simply 1 minus theta square by 2. That means all higher orders are we are going to be neglect and we will get the only 2 terms and 1 minus theta square by 2 whenever theta is very small. Just keep it in mind that theta is very small. So 1 minus theta square by 2 I can simply equal to the 1 minus h by r. So now here 1 and 1 get cancelled, minus and minus will get cancelled. So finally theta square is equal to 2h by r. Theta square is equal to 2h by r. This is what we got it. So now I just name it as an equation number 5. And also we got the cos theta value. Then what about the sin theta value? So now the sin theta is whenever any sin theta is having the very small angle, that means it is approximately equal to the theta. So now we already have the from the equation number 1. So what equation number 1 is telling that what is d is equal to, it is simply 2r theta. So from this what is theta? It is exactly equal to the d by 2r. So now this is equation number 6. So now finally we got the what is sin theta, we got it, and we got the what is cos theta 1 minus h by r. So if you want to simplify, you can simplify the equation number 4. So h by r, why? Because here we got the relation with the theta and r. So now the cos theta is equal to 1 minus h by r. So here theta square is equal to 2h by r. So now, I want to put this one in the equation number 1. So what is the equation number 1? D is equal to 2r into theta. So from this, so you know that 2r into what is the theta? Theta is equal to square root of 2h by r. So now I am simply substituting 2h by r. So what is the answer? We can get it. So it will go inside square root of 8 into, so the r and r will go inside means r square. So r will give, so 8rh will come. So that means d is equal to square root of 8rh we will get. So but here from this I am going to get what is h value. So now h I am going to take, it is simply d square by simply 8r. So now I am simply taking, this is equation number 6. So finally we are needed to get cos theta. So here we are just simplifying, theta is very small, that's why theta square we will get it. So from this as I substituted h is equal to d theta square in the equation number 1 2r theta. So within that I substituted, and from this again I got it the what is h is equal to d square by 8r. So now I am going to get what is final cos theta value. So final what is cos theta value? Simply cos theta is equal to, so we know that 1 minus h by r. So 1 minus, what is the h value we are getting from this? This is simply d square by 8r whole by r. That means what? 1 minus d square by 8r square. So that is what we got it till now. What is cos theta? Now if you go for the sin theta, the sin theta is approximately equal to the theta whenever theta is very small. So now from the equation number 1, so what we have from the equation number 1, d is equal to 2r theta. So from this you can directly take what is theta. Theta is exactly equal to d by 2r. So now the entire cos theta is also in terms of d and r. The entire sin theta also in terms of d and r. So finally we got it, our cos theta and sin theta values. So now we are going to get our original expression. So what is exactly given to the cos pi I, that is what? Incident angle. So now I am going to write what is our expression, then we will see the simplification. So now this is what our previous expression cos theta I. So from this we calculated what is r cos theta, what is r sin theta, what is r cos theta in terms of d and r. So from this I am going to substitute what are the values. So now h plus r minus what is r cos theta. So now r into the cos theta value is given as 1 minus d square by 8r square. So similarly square root of r into sin theta. The sin theta is approximately equal to theta. Theta is equal to d by 2r plus h plus r minus r into 1 minus d square by 8r square and whole square. So now if you observe clearly here what we are getting the expressions. So r into r, only one r will get cancelled. So h minus into minus plus r square. So that's why d square by 8r divided by, so here r and r get cancelled, that means whole square also should be there. So d by 2 whole square root of d by 2 whole square plus again the same thing will come here, that is h plus d square by 8r whole square. That means what? This is what exactly equal to the our cos theta I. So that means what? In the numerator we are getting h plus d square by 8r, but in the denominator you are getting square root of d by 2 whole square plus h plus d square by 8r whole square. But initially we written that this is the from the entire our curved paths, that is cos theta I. But we know that our formula, what is that, is from the definitions cos theta I is absolutely equal to the ratio of critical frequency to the maximum usable frequency. So what is the frequency, maximum usable frequency? It should be equal to FCR by cos theta I. So what is cos theta I? Just substitute here. So now I can write FCR is multiplied with, this will reverse, that means square root of I can write simply d square by 4 plus h plus d square by 8r whole square by, this is h plus d square by 8r. So this is what exactly equal to the frequency, maximum usable frequency for the curved earth. So here FCR is the critical frequency, d is the distance between the transmitter to the receiver, and h is the height from the earth surface, and r is the radius of the earth. So these all parameters we know it. So now you can simply calculate what is the maximum usable frequency for our curved earth. Okay, so now if you see the example, so there is in an ionospheric propagation consider that reflection takes place at a height of 300 kilometers. So that means what? And if you are taking the any surface, so in the ionosphere there is a reflection again. So if this reflection at a height of 300 kilometers, that means from here to here I can say that it is in 300 kilometers height, and that the maximum density in ionosphere corresponding to refractive index of 0.8 at a frequency of 15 megahertz frequency. That means what he given for us is simply eta is given 0.8 he is telling, and after that at frequency given 15 megahertz. And determine ground range for curved earth for which the given frequency is. So here we have to focus on this line. This is in curved earth. That means this is not in flat earth. This is in curved earth. So now this is curved earth for which the given frequency is MUF. That means what? If it is this one, so what is the value of D? That is what our D, right? That is what our range, that from the transmitter to the receiver. So now we have to calculate what is the value of D. So now the height is 300 kilometers only given. We have to calculate D. So before going to this, eta is given, F is given. But if you need the maximum usable frequency, so you have to utilize that one as a maximum usable frequency. So before going to that, we need what is critical frequency. So for the calculation of critical frequency, we need that what is N max. So N max is given by the formula. So we know the refractive index is given as square root of 1 minus 81 N max by F square. So now refractive index N is given. So what is the refractive index N value is given? The N is 0.8 is multiplied with square root of 1 minus 81 N max by F square. So F square is equal to 15 megahertz. So now 15 megahertz means 10 to the power of 6. So now just if you simplify this one, so you will get what is N max is equal to, it is 1 into 10 to the power of 12 per meter cube. That means what? So here you are just substituting the all values. This is 0.5, this value you know that. So simply calculate what is N max value is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of 12 per meter cube. So whenever you know the N value, we have to easily calculate what is critical frequency. What is critical frequency? The critical frequency is always equal to 81 into N max. So now what is the value of critical frequency? So N max value is here. So it is simply 9 into 10 to the power of 6 only. So now it is given as 9 megahertz. That means this is your N max value. This is your critical frequency value. Now we will go for the next step. So the maximum density ionosphere corresponding to the refractive index is calculated. Now determine ground range for curved earth for which given frequency is MUF. So we already derived the expression for the what is maximum usable frequency in the curved earth. So now for a curved earth, so now for a curved earth, the skip distance is given by d skip is equal to 2 into h plus d skip square by 8r is multiplied with square root of maximum usable frequency by critical frequency whole square minus 1. So that means what? The total skip distance is equal to 2 into h plus d skip square by 8r into square root of MUF whole square by FCR minus 1. So now if you observe clearly, this is a quadratic expression. You are getting two terms at the same time. But you know that here there is a radius of earth. So that is the radius of earth is always given as So 6370 kilometers. This is a standard value, that is the radius of Earth. So now just substitute the all values. So how much d skip is given? So the d skip is equal to 2 into h. So how much height we are having? 300 kilometers. So this is 300 plus d skip square. So d skip square. So d square skip by 8r. 6370 is multiplied with what is MUF. So MUF by FCR whole square. So okay, so here the MUF is given that he only said that the given frequency is an MUF. So that means the F is indirectly is given as an MUF. So that means what is MUF? He given as 15 megahertz, 15 into 10 to the power of 6, and we got this one as a 9 megahertz whole square minus 1. So if you simplify this quadratic expression, so after 2 steps, just if you are multiplying and everything, so you will get the expression is like d skip is equal to 800 plus 5.2328 so here 5.238 into 10 to the power minus 5 d skip square. So that means d skip, this is in terms of quadratic expression. So now again I have to take in terms of ax square plus bx plus c, then only I can get the two roots. So for that purpose what I am going to do is simply I am just dividing with this term for the all terms. So now then it will coefficient becomes 1. So if you are just dividing and if you are just taking that side, so final expression is given as d square skip minus 19.11 into 10 cube d skip plus 15.2882 into 10 to the power of 6 is equal to 0. So now this is what exactly d skip square value. So now this is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is a quadratic expression. So if you simplify this one by using the roots, so how we are going to calculate the roots is, it's in simple logic. So whenever you have the ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, how we are going to calculate the roots for x is equal to plus or minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac by 2a. So by using this logic, if you just calculate the roots, you can get the what is d skip values. So if you just simplify by using the quadratic expression, you will get the d skip values are okay. So if you solve this expression, we will get 18.273 into 10 cube kilometers. Here also 80 kilometers. So that means, so here the total value, we are taking the only maximum value among the two values. So my final value is equal to the into 10 cube kilometers. So this is what our answer for the how much skip distance will gives for the exact our maximum usable frequency.